What up, you guys? Welcome back to Fro Publications YouTube channel. On this channel, I talk about zines and DIY publishing. And today I want to look at Marvel's What The. There's a lot that I like about this comic, the series, what they're trying to do. Basically, this was Marvel's attempt at making a humor comic that made fun of themselves, which I genuinely enjoyed. So there's 4 stories in issue 1. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that all of them are great. I will admit that this one right here, the Bower Brats meet Clunk and Dragnabbit, not very good. But these 3 are solid. And the Pulverizer is funny for me, someone that is a fan of the Punisher because of the jokes. The other thing that's very interesting to me is that there's a Steve Ditko humor comic in here, which is very fun. It's always fun to peep out. So if you're wondering when this came out August 1988. But some of the jokes and tropes here for the Punisher are the way he talks about his guns and just kind of the way they're super hyped and like over the top. There's a lot of like jokes at themselves. It looked like an ordinary newsstand, but I knew better. My fingers strayed to my 40 ODD-7 Belfixque rim-packed, slice-gated, close-action revolver with double-hipped Andrews hollow-nose ammo feed. Here goes something else that I thought was real funny, right? Like, he's got little tiny legs, and that joke runs throughout, as well as the pistol jokes runs throughout. Man, I really enjoy humor comic art. Like, there's just something about it. I really did kind of like this more cartoonish style. And there's just so many jokes, and they play off so many tropes and cliches. And never mind that in a lot of humor comics, you're going to see random cameos, right? So there you go. There goes Popeye. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be Namor. And then you'll see them here, right? Namor's right there. Yancey Street Gang from the Fantastic Four callback. This was like a comic book for cartoonists. There was another Popeye reference. I love the way they draw the Punisher too. This block with short legs. This is probably one of the funnier gags where he keeps just adding on and making the pistol that he's getting like so much more over the top. I pulled out my 3.55 millimeter slipstream bit matte Callahan Siegel field piece, attached the double reverse blowback overhead cam Oritzkowitz ammo feed, the 300 DPI modified Pelleton undersling file damper, the digital IR UV VHS crammed down Norton's cross-calibrated stereoscopic gun sight, the boom. It's just too much. Over the top. Love the way they draw his body right here. And then they finish it. And what was this thing that was destroying the youth that he had to stop? It was his own comic. The artist in this one right here, Hilary Barta. Pretty sure Hilary Barta. He's actually a cartoonist that I kind of dig, man. And a lot of it was because of this. I remember reading this as an older fella and being like, who is this fella? The Bar Brats and Clunk. And it might just be because I don't know these characters, so I don't get any of these jokes. I mean, some of these, the way he drew them, I do like. And that definitely seems very, like, undergroundish to me. But I guess maybe because there's no affinity to me in those characters that I didn't really care. This here was very, very funny. And this is, like I said, like this comic book felt to me rereading it at the same time like a comic book made by cartoonists for other cartoonists. Like almost like they made this for themselves. And I love it. It's hella good. This one, obviously, When Titans Bunch, is this idea and concept, and it's just fun to see the way they draw different characters. That's always fun to me too. Like I love this Wolverine drawing, almost like Popeye arms. I'm hella down with it. And the artist for this strip, I'm not familiar with them, but it's really tight. right? I love the way he drew Logan right here. And they kind of mix him in. Oh, I love this. And this is some of the stuff I'm talking about. Like a comic book made for other cartoonists, right? So be it. Forward, onward, 2 doors down to the left. Hey, boss, how come your hand got big like that, huh? Big Jack at tack? So, if you don't know who they're talking about, they're basically saying, like, this is a Jack Kirby pose. And it absolutely is a Jack Kirby pose. Like, it's... But you know what I mean? Like, it's an inside joke for cartoonists, people that, you know, that would get that, right? But this premise here as well is this idea that, okay, the X-Men are going to chunk them with the Avengers. And then while they're chunking them, that brings the Fantastic Four, which then also brings the West Side Avengers, which then also brings the classics X-Men, which also brings Alpha Flight, which also brings other superheroes from the universe. This is getting too crazy. And there's this running gag throughout a lot of this of the Behinder, which is the Secret Wars thing, letting me know that cartoonists hated that series and they knew that that shit was garbage. And then the next one with Steve Ditko, we'll go into it even a little further. But then basically what ends up happening is that the cartoonist, as he's drawing all these fight scenes between all these big groups, dies. And it's like, what's the moral? Team books kill. They kill the cartoonist. It's too much work for them. It's like I said, it's something that's made for other cartoonists. And this one right here, this is Steve Ditko on pencils. And 1988, I'm not sure when he stopped working with Marvel. I thought it was already during that time of the 80s, but it's not yet. And so basically in this comic, it's this idea that the Watcher, who's continuously being called a voyeur and a perv and things like that, is bored and wants to see something great, but he can't stand the beholder or behinder, whatever they want to call him. He can't stand Secret Wars, so he's like, no, I got to do something different, and I got to get someone else, but I want a big event, because I guess in this one, there's a lot of shout outs to DC. They keep talking about Infinite Crisis, right? Infinite Crisis on Earth and things like that. And they're talking about how they have this big mashup, and it's time for Marvel to do another one. And throughout it, it's so funny because they're continuously talking about, like, well, what's my cut of the royalty, right? Like, why would I do this book? What's in it for me? Like, how much money am I gonna make? And in this portion of it, he's like, I thought you were in the world-beating business for power, glory, vengeance, not something so crass as cash, right? He's like, what's in this for me? I mean, what's my percentage of the gross, my royalty points, my cut off the windfall? So that's funny. So then Dr. Doom is like, nah, I'm out. I ain't messing with you. Right? Look at the way Ditko drew Galactus right here. Gave him butts for knees. It's just so fun to see, Ditko like this. Galactus is not in for it because Galactus just wants to eat. I love this bit. He's like, Magneto. He's like, no, it's pronounced Magneto. No, it's pronounced Magnoto. He's like, Magneto? Magnoto. He's like, man, I'm not dealing with you, bro. And then, who does he have to settle on? Secret Wars number 3. And there's just so much that they're saying, like, man, good Lord. They're like, that character is dumb. The whole thing was dumb. The continuity was broken up. It was just, according to the writer and creators of this strip, Secret Wars was just stupid. And this is written by Gwen Dibley. Penciler was Steve Ditko. Severin was the inker. And Janice Chang was the letterer. So, I definitely dig this comic. I'm wondering how many more of the what the I have. But this was like a good comic made by cartoonists for other cartoonists where, they really pulled out a lot of like humor comics and underground comics kind of art styles and tropes. But they also made fun of themselves. And they kind of roasted Marvel and the stuff Marvel had done up to that point that worked and didn't work. There was references to a lot of DC stuff, like Slice and Dice 'em, like they made Frank Miller references and things like that. It's a fun comic. It's hella good. I'm surprised more people don't talk about this. So that's all I wanted to share with you guys today, man. Don't forget, I published a comic called Feral Comics. This issue is getting printed and shipped out soon enough. And if you guys are interested, there will be a link in the show notes for you guys to go ahead and get a copy. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Lates.